Did you notice how many more podcasts there are in NASCAR now, like this season?
Since the Dale Jr. download.
Yeah.
I think it's because of the Dale Jr. download was one, obviously. Blaney was kind of the first one that had like a NASCAR-esque podcast. But I think we were in front of all of them, weren't we?
Yeah, this is our third real season.
Yeah, so
I feel good. I feel like we're not just jumping on the bandwagon.
Maybe they're copying us.
They probably are. If
That
you'd
was
like to sponsor this show, you can call this number. If you're listening, it's 704-277-1394.
Yeah, that's not either one of us. Even if you don't want to sponsor the show, just call that number.
Yeah, if you just want to leave a voicemail,
yeah,
tell them your displeasure with this show.
Now LaJoy has one, because
I haven't heard it yet.
We launched his podcast career in here.
We really did.
So no big deal. Oh man, I'm so mad at him on Sunday.
I know, it's a bummer, huh?
Yeah, but still got an 18th place finish.
Coolest looking car though, in the Daytona 500 field.
I wouldn't say coolest. It was the most unique.
Yeah, the most unique. Dude, it got so much press on the Twitters.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was everywhere.
I'm excited to see what he's able to do with that car this year. This is the most excited I think I've been for a season, talent-wise, on the Cup side. Trucks and Xfinity, I've almost written off. I didn't even watch a lap of either race because I don't know, just in a weird spot with that. But the Cup field, man, like to see like the Benedetto run up front, that was cool, and to see what he'll be able to do with the Gibbs Alliance in that car, and our buddy Priest, a couple really exciting.
How about Ryan Priest? I got him on my notes to talk about. We might as well talk about him. Yeah, that kid wheeled it. It was awesome to see him up there.
Yeah, he did. He controlled what he could control at a speedway race.
Yeah, it's Daytona.
It is what it is.
It's whatever. But
he had some big misses, and that's what you get, I feel like, when you put a kid in that's done the work and done it the right way. He's come up through the short track system. Hell, he was racing at Smyrna. He got a win in the World Series at Smyrna. I don't know if it was Monday or Tuesday night with a new CD car that he had built. It was Tuesday night because Monday broke. And it was cool to be able to go out there and hang out with the modified guys on Friday and Jimmy and them to see. Man, Florida in February is just so cool.
It's so long. But I feel like it goes so fast. Like it's over. Like it's like 2.5 weeks of just straight racing, dirt, asphalt, big track, and then it's just over. And like I don't even feel like the season has started now. Like it's weird.
Yeah. What's cool to see is like if you look at, say you look at the first week of Florida, right? Like if you look at Volusia when it started, there was 90 something IMCA modifieds, just on our UMP modifieds, alone at Volusia with the sprint cars, and to look at that field, because I was watching it because Hot Pockets was there. They were racing with Schrader, and that field is like crazy. And the craziest part is that the three guys who pretty much are up front winning every race are right out of here.
Yeah.
With
building their own chassis and going on the race.
Yeah, Stremme, Strickler, and Hoffman. So you painting those guys' helmets?
Yeah, Stremme, we've been painting his helmets for a long time. Hoffman, we're supposed to be getting his helmets. Strickler, I don't think he does anything for his. Like we've talked about him a few times.
The high side tickler.
The high side tickler. That would be a cool helmet to paint, but I don't know what I think he just wears like a blank helmet. So
yeah. Well, to go from that to the sprint cars, even if you go to Bubba Raceway Park for the All-Stars, just everything they have going on down there, and then Smyrna starts, and they get the modifieds go to Bronson. I saw North Florida Speedway was racing. There's legend cars down in Citrus County.
Everywhere.
There's just so much going on and so many people down there. So
it's hard to choose what track and what racing you want to go see, honestly. You know, like if you're a dirt fan, obviously you're going to Volusia. If you're a modified fan, the ground pounders, you're going to New Smyrna. It's pretty easy there. But if you're just a race fan in general, it's hard to figure out where you want to go and what nights,
It's so hard for me because I have to come back and go to pit practice on, we go down for the Clash and then come right back. So I fly down there, fly back, and then watch everybody race, till Thursday. You go down for the duels, and then usually I'll stay down there. But this year I got sick. So
are you okay now?
Yeah, I feel like I'm better. I got some sort of Daytona swine flu.
Pretty concerned.
The worst kind of flus.
I'm sorry.
Daytona flu. But yeah, so what was your biggest takeaways from this weekend?
How many people were down there, I think? Like, you look at Volusia, it was
bad. There was more hype over this than there has been in any Daytona I've been to, I think, in a while.
Volusia was packed. almost every night. I don't,
Smyrna was packed when I went on Friday night.
and then Sunday for the 500, man, I was standing on pit road and just looked up after the national anthem and people are screaming, and that grandstand is like 9/10 of a mile, something like that. Like it's huge, and they're just packed people all
I
the way
don't
from end to
know
end.
if it was my first Daytona 500 was '07, and I don't know if it's just different now because all the all the grandstands around the whole that used to be around the whole place, it's all consolidated in the one big grandstand now. The way that Daytona is with the stadium seating, there used to be grandstands on the backstretch and all that, but it looked crazy how many people were there.
Yeah,
I could not believe it. And then I've said this, and I don't know where you're at with it, but I felt like they marketed as a sport. We marketed this race well,
yeah, I think it's very
bringing
well.
in different avenues, and hell, I think the Barstool guys already taking credit for it. But but I I feel like as a sport where we're at, we can talk about packages and racing and side by side and quality passes per race. But I think what's more important than all that is the way that we market this sport and how we, the what we're telling people, what they're seeing, and just mainly 100% comes down to marketing because at the end of the day, if you go to everybody thinks sprint car racing is the best thing ever, but wing sprint car racing turns into a lot of follow leader sometimes too. So
Yeah, cautionless features.
I'm excited about it, and we'll see how we go at Atlanta with this new package.
Did
I'm
you notice
excited.
how like okay, so when I after the 500 or whatever, I post on Twitter, I take a video of the whole grandstands. I'm like, this is awesome, whatever. Every time you do something like that, it's negativity. Like 20% of the people are negative
You
about
could
it.
give a race fan a 50, and they'll be pissed off because you didn't give them two 20s and a 10.
Exactly.
So the same people that that bitch and complain about the racetrack are the ones that are posting my favorite racetrack when it's gone.
Yeah.
The throwback pictures. So
But
uh,
Barstool comes in there, and like you look through their Twitter feed, not one negative thing. So
yeah,
I think that was the biggest takeaway from the weekend. Barstool down there, and I think that really helped our sport because they have a huge following. Not just in racing, just
well, when you look at their demographic, is probably what 19 to 26.
exactly. And I think
So
that's what we need for sure. Did you watch the Xfinity race at all?
not one lap.
Ooh.
I was going to, but I was fighting the Daytona swine flu, so I fell asleep.
Eh,
And my hotel didn't have Fox Sports 1.
it's a freight train.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty bad.
Rough. Well, the first night at the parking lot, and then
I didn't see the Daytona. I didn't see the truck race because I was at New Smyrna. But
you could have taken your Silverado out there, gone on the track, and got a top 10.
yeah,
It was rough. That's how many trucks were left. Not many. So it was a big. That's just I don't know. Tearing up stuff in the Cup Series is one thing. That's fine. When you get all these small teams like Jordan Anderson working his ass off all off season, he's running fifth and gets wiped out. Like
I'm having trouble with the truck series because I'm I'm lost on where we draw the line to let kids buy their way into the sport. And I'm not saying this as being bitter or whatnot. I just don't know where. I think the quality of racing is sacrificed when, if you look at F1, you have to have won certain championships to get the opportunity to be there. I see kids coming through that have never won a late model race,
yep.
but I don't get how you could be. I just don't get how you can get to that level without winning something.
Yeah, I was actually talking to one of my helmet reps this weekend, and I was trying to explain that to him, and he couldn't believe it because he does all like motocross and moto and all that stuff, and you have to work your way to go to
Yeah.
Loretta Lens and qualify into that, and race a regional race, and you have to get your license to go do a supercross race and stuff. Like it's pretty hard to make it in. You can be good and not make it to that level. It's like NASCAR's just
Yeah,
the
and
exact
but
opposite.
if you look at it, it's it's a double-edged sword because one, like these kids that are coming in paying for rides or whatever, they're keeping people, working, which is big. But then again, like it wasn't the driver's fault, but you see people get motored on pit road,
Yeah,
and it's like, man, what are we doing here? And
yeah,
you see a race like the truck race where everybody's over their head. It's just a black. I think it's a black eye for the sport. I think we have to vet these kids before they get in race cars. I don't think that anybody should just be approved because they ran the ARCA race at Daytona. I really feel like you have to have won uh, at least a certain amount of K&N races or an ARCA championship or something to be able to move up to the top three.
Even a certain amount of starts.
No,
No, it
no,
has to be
you
win.
have to win.
Yeah.
Like I mean, that's part of being an elite.
Yeah, it's true.
An elite guy. You're not going to go get a college quarterback to play for an NFL team that's never won a game.
True.
Like, I what are we doing if you haven't won you look at Ryan Preece, he's put the work in.
Yeah.
He's won races. He's had to line up against guys like Teddy Christopher and Doug Colby and Jimmy Blewett and some of the best in the Northeast since he was a teenager.
He's ready for it.
Done
when
it
he
the
gets to
hard
this
way.
level.
So then he can go to Daytona and miss those wrecks.
Yeah.
And finish top 10 in his first start, and be right up to pace where the truck race was such a joke that all the kids that are in the Xfinity series now were so scared to make it like that that they didn't race. And then, what's different about the Cup race is, the Cup race was boring for the duels because nobody wants to tear their car. You're just racing for pit stall selection.
Yeah.
But once you get to the 500, it was good racing because those guys have talent.
Yeah.
Because you're not really going to get to the Cup. You're not really going to buy your way to the Cup Series. Some people do, but you're not going to. And I just have a real tough time with where our sport is as far as the Truck Series and what we're doing. I think that's something that we can look at. And I think if you do that, it makes your K&N Series healthier, makes your ARCA Series healthier. Because now these kids that are just trying to buy a right way, it makes more sense to skip right over ARCA and K&N.
Yeah, you don't need to spend all that money.
Why would I spend $500,000 here when I can go spend $500,000 with the truck team and run 10 truck races, or I'm going to run 15 K&N races at a Dominion Speedway that's not on TV or that's tape delayed when I can be running Daytona? It's so much easier to sell to a sponsor, to anybody. I'm in a rough spot with it.
Skip Flores, NASCAR president, 2022.
El Presidente.
Yeah. What about no second place winners this weekend? The new rule to tech the cars at the track, not take them back to the R&D center. No problems with that. I was pretty shocked, honestly, with Daytona. They usually try to fudge a lot of stuff there.
I feel like that rule is great.
Yeah.
One.
That's the way it should have been.
If you go to Ricky Brooks, if you go race at the Snowball Derby or really any short track in Florida, the World Series, you know that you better be right. I watched Ricky Brooks I saw he kicked Patrick Emmerling out Monday night of Volusia, or Monday night of New Smyrna. He finished second or third in the modified race. He rolled across the scales. The rule's 52% left side weight. He was like 52 or was like 56. I don't know what it is. He was like 2 or 3 tenths over. Gave him 3 tries. The crew chief was like, "Well, my scales at home." He said, "Don't care about your scales at home. See you gentlemen tomorrow." Send them on their way.
That's how NASCAR should be.
And that's how it should be. I feel like, everybody is. It kind of last year when NASCAR kind of made a difference in how they tech the cars pre-race, post-race, cut down some of their overhead on officials, a little bit less officiating, a little bit more scanning and let's say machines that tech the cars.
Robots.
Obviously, as racers, one of your deals is to try to get around the rules. When you have the best racers in the country trying to get around the rules, they find ways to do it. So they knew that they were putting NASCAR in a box where they really couldn't do much. Sometimes you'll take a fine like that for a big win. Now it's going to change the way that a lot of these teams approach races, and I think it'll make the racing better.
How many tracks do you think we'll get through before we see our first second or third place actually win?
I'm not sure. I think you're gonna have to get through a couple races with this package to see what you actually have to cheat.
Yeah, true.
Because it's so much different than what we've raced before. For the last 20 years, it's been pretty consistent on the stuff that moves the needle. When I was in the aero department at Stuart Haas, I worked with a guy named Scott Robinette, who's a stud. He worked on the Skull Bandit, and he worked on he was tire carrier for Earnhardt when he won his last championship. I mean, he was on all those cars that won all races. And we'd go to the wind tunnel, and he would be able to tell us right then and there when we were putting something on the car if it was going to be better or not. Because in 1990, when he was down at Lockheed Martin, it made a difference on the Skull Bandit, and he was right 100% of the time on what it was going to do. So with this package, less motor, more downforce, more drag, uh, I would say 5-6 weeks before you see people start moving the needle. But I think you're going to have to see something like what the 4 team did with their window collapsing, or making an illegal spoiler.
Something pretty creative.
That you're going to have to get kicked out.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? It's the Off Axis Podcast out here at the old Daytona Brewing Company on Daytona 500 weekend.
Yeah, we get to come out here and meet with Paul Tuttle Jr. and see this cool bike he designed, along with the cool paint job he designed for Off Axis driver Ross Chastain in the Truck Series.
Yeah, it should be a good time, and we'll see how good his truck does tonight. All right, man, we're sitting down with Paul Jr. today, hanging out at the old, where are we, Daytona Beach?
Daytona Beach Brewery.
Yes. You ever been here?
Yes. No.
No?
First time.
You ever hang out here like on like a bike week? You always come down for that?
Not for here. Not here though.
No.
Yeah.
What's I guess what's different about like a bike week compared to like Daytona 500 weekend that you've kind of figured out?
A lot more people, I think.
You think? Like
I do.
Just like a different atmosphere completely?
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know numbers wise if that's quite accurate, but it's just so many people and so many motorcycles, and the roads are just everywhere you go is traffic, you know.
It's insane, isn't it? It's like we can almost see the track here, and like it takes like 30 minutes to get here.
That's right. Yeah. Everything's slow-mo.
Yeah, it's a lot of planning for 500 weekend.
Yeah.
So, do people bring like swimming pools at bike week and stuff? Like, have you been to the big track where
you name it, they bring it?
Yeah. Dude, I love it. Daytona weekend, like we're down obviously for like 3 months. You know, no racing, no nothing going on. So like everyone's like ready to be back at the track.
Yeah, this kicks it off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, I guess kind of your involvement with True North and stuff like that. You've obviously done a bike for them before. You're unveiling another bike today, which was way cool. But I mean, how did that come about? Just doing the first bike for them.
You know, I ended up getting a call from Barry Wilson from True North, and he was looking to get a bike built. And I don't even think he realized our show was back at the time. He was just looking for his boss wanted a bike, and I said, hey, why don't we maybe do something on the show, being that they have a truck warranty company, and so I pitched it out there, and they loved the idea of the marketing, and that kind of kicked it off. And I think very quickly we realized there was a synergy between the two companies. There's always some kind of good relationship there, and we're really a relationship-based company for when we do bikes for all the different companies we work with. But True North just seemed to stand out. They kind of got us creatively, and they saw a really good fit between the two brands. And that started out more conversations, and that's how we got to the livery on the truck, and that's how we got to the My Truck warranty trike that we just unveiled. So
I love the trike too. That was a surprise when you
different animal, right?
Yeah, when you brought it in there, but it sells that company's story so well. You know, that's what I love about what you do.
Yeah, and that's the key for us. Like I did the True North bike. And it's, semi-truck, futuristic semi-truck theme. You see it out there. It's one of my favorite bikes I've ever built, and I've been doing this almost 20 years, and that thing it has the it factor, And so when they wanted us to build something else for them, I was just a little intimidated by the fact that we had to keep up with that one, So very quickly I went into a kind of a creative mode, and I knew that dual-wheel trike was going to win. If we can get the proportions right and make it look the way it needed to look. And I feel like we did all of that. And I couldn't do any of this without my team. We have a fantastic team at PJD, and it takes the whole team to really pull these things off. But I think creatively we probably put two of our best bikes out there for this company. And since then, they've asked me to be a spokesperson for True North, and so we're working through what all that looks like, and the relationship continues to grow. And in turn, I'm expanding my brand. All these years, especially in the early days, we'd go out on the choppers and do lead laps at all these NASCAR events, IndyCar. I mean, we were involved. I mean, it was just crazy in the beginning. And I didn't grow up watching that. It was just, I'm a football fan, and that's all I really got into. And so the cool part about doing this truck with these guys is that now I have a dog in the fight, And so I'm really excited to watch the race tonight and see what we can do out there and watch my logo go around the track.
That's the coolest part, right?
It is. To me, it is. I mean, who gets to do that?
Until I got involved in the sport, like I've always watched it, but like until you see your logo and actually have somebody to root for, it's a completely different feeling because you do the roller coaster throughout the race and the emotions,
right.
and you don't really get that just being a fan of the sport, but
right.
Being involved in it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, how many hours you got in this bike? Do you have any idea, or is it just?
I don't know, a lot.
Just all over the place?
It's a double episode, so it was more. We got more time for that than we do for a single episode.
That's good. So you're not too rushed and like.
Not well.
thrown into it.
We're always up against
Yeah.
it. Yeah, the timelines are. The deadline for our show is just always there. So we got more time, but it was twice as much work. So
I got
it balances out.
A company like True North, they have like a bunch of guidelines or anything in there? Or they just trust you
no,
seeing the first bike, let you go at it.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing about these companies. They come to me because they like what they see when I build stuff for other clients, and so they just trust me implicitly. And our process my process creatively is I hear what the client has to say about who they are, and then I take that and I infuse it into a motorcycle. The most that they'll give me is their colors.
Yeah.
And logo.
Way cool though.
Yeah.
That's what so I paint helmets for all the drivers out here. And I try to do the exact same thing where you're trying to, kind of tell their story.
Get a little bit of that personality in
there. But there's always with these corporate companies, there's a little more of a guideline, and you gotta kind of stay around it. But I mean, that bike out there, when you look at it, that's a big rig bike out there.
Yeah,
that's the cool part about it. So, well, cool, man. I appreciate you coming in. At the races your truck's gonna be on, obviously, quite a few this year, or your logo on the truck.
Is this the list?
I believe that's the list. I didn't write that list.
Yeah. So Daytona with Ross Chastain. Atlanta with Ross. It looks like Las Vegas is going to be Reed Wilson. Martinsville is going to be Ross. Reed is going to run Texas. Ross will run Dover. And then Kansas, Reed will run. And I'll be at half of these.
Not a bad schedule. That's what I was going to ask you next. Are you going to be
I'm going to be at a lot of them, yeah. I don't know if I can make all of them with my schedule, but I'm going to try and be at the main ones, I think.
Are you going to be on the pit box, like holding the sign, catching tires?
Yeah.
What are you?
I'm going to be over there with the big gas film, like.
Have you been to a truck race before? Is this your first, or
no, I've never been to a truck race,
really?
but I've been down in the pits early on. We did years ago. It was weird. It was one of our first clients when the show first took off, and it was Trim Spa.
Yeah, just
random, and they had a car, and we came down for the race, and so we were in the pits for that. That was my first experience with NASCAR being like right there when the car pulls in. The tires.
It's a lot different, isn't it? Than
it is, and it's loud, and it's pretty overwhelming in a sense. And I know the Uber fans they want to be in there. They want to smell the fuel, and they want the noise and the vroom vroom, So
it's a wild sport, man. It's definitely different. So
it is.
Well, cool, man. The truck race is my favorite race of the weekend. So. It's the best one to have your logo on.
I hear
under the
it
lights.
Gets crazy. I hear the truck race is crazy.
You got these young kids fighting for the front.
Yeah, they're hungry. That's what I like. So. Yeah, talking with Ross, man, he's a good dude. And, it's anybody's guess.
Yep.
I mean, anybody could win this race tonight. And so that's kind of exciting, even for us, because we want to win everything.
Dude, I hope I see you in Victory Lane tonight. I'll be the most pumped up person.
Oh,
for
dude,
you,
I will be going crazy.
Yeah.
We're very competitive. We like to win.
I'm all about it. So, all right, man. Well, cool. I'll let you go. And again, a ton of people. This is the most people I've ever had for our podcast out here. I appreciate you bringing all these people out.
I might have to dart out that door.
Yeah, you might get the back door. Yeah. But I'll see you on pit road. Hopefully, you got some gloves on. You're catching tires, doing some work. I don't want to see you on the pit box just watching, man.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, cool, man. Thank you for stopping in.
Right, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Have you seen World's Dumbest Drivers, the old show that was on TV?
Was that on TNT?
I don't know what it was on, but we're about to review some of these videos. We're going to get our raw review on these videos. Let's hit play on the first one.
All right. Here's the first one. This looks like
see what Daryl's got for us.
Like Sebring or something like
that.
Maybe
a Camaro?
I think it's got to be like Corvette or something. That are yellow.
Oh, no brakes.
Off the track.
Is he oh God. Where's he gonna go? Oh, it's a fence. Oh, is that a pedestrian road? Oh!
Oh, man. Just wheel it. It's definitely in Florida.
It's still going. Where's he going?
Dude, if homeboy just drives that back to the
What do you think the guy in the bucket truck was thinking there?
what do you think the penalty for just going onto the road is?
You think they'll leave that gate open from now on?
Yeah, they're like, we need a new rule.
God, I wonder what that was in. I wish I had a better picture of that car.
We need to look that up.
Whatever it is.
We'll post the link.
It looks like my truck with
We'll
a bent nose on it now.
As long as I didn't hit something. All right, here's clip number 2. Old school. Oh my gosh. Dude, that's the sketchy. That looks like a TQ midget race right there.
Go back. Rewind that. I
We
can't
gotta-
even believe what I'm seeing. It's like
Dude, he like
It didn't
launches
even-
over the first guy.
it just went straight in the air like a bouncy ball.
It was like a rabbit.
What's that guy's spine feel like when he came down? His helmet was hanging over
Let's
the...
watch one more time.
I can't stop.
We gotta watch the.
Those look like the most dangerous race cars ever.
There's zero suspension on that thing.
Why would you even be that close to another guy in those things?
Ugh.
Why would you even take that thing on the track?
Remember we were talking about you need to win a few races before you move up. To
That
the
guy,
next-
that guy's a cup driver. Just let him have it. You land something like that.
Clip 3. Let's go.
This is a snow. How can I see what I'm doing?
That would be the sketchiest type of racing. Dude, they kept going.
Savage.
How awesome is that?
And he put the windshield wipers on.
And he's like, let's clean off the broken glass.
Those guys, those rally car racers are the most savage drivers I've ever seen.
No, not the drivers. The people that ride in shotgun
No, they're
and
just
tell them
dumb.
where to.
That's just Darwinism at its
That's
finest.
the like. I couldn't get. You could not pay me enough to go be a co-driver for
I
something
went
like that.
the other day to Robbie Gordon's shop and sat in one of his Dakar trucks.
Yeah.
No thanks.
How much? That's like.
Like 14 hours on end, you're just in there on the gas.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're just hammered down the whole time.
No, thank you.
And then if something goes wrong, you're by yourself. It's like, okay, you just wrecked. You're scared out of your mind. Probably banged
the
up a little
desert.
bit. Let's get out and change tires and pull this front end out. I couldn't, dude. Those guys that do that are insane.
Couldn't pay me enough.
Clip 4. I feel like that happens a lot. Oh wow!
What was
Did you just take that guy's mirror off? Dude, homeboy's just out here fixing his car.
Oh, they're pissed.
Is there a tire?
He just gets dump truck tight and he doesn't watch.
Let's watch it again.
And then he doesn't get back on the wheel fast enough.
Dude, trashed that whole quarter panel.
The Dynamic Rally team is pissed off. You can visit them at Dynamic Rally. What is that? Say down there?
Portugal or something.
Somewhere.
Definitely not an
They
American
shouldn't,
license
they shouldn't
plate.
put their license plate on TV. Someone's going to steal their identity.
Dang
Look
it.
at this guy. Oh my God, look at that guy in the yellow fire suit.
He's
He's
bummed.
pissed.
Yeah. All right, here's clip number 5. I like these. These are good to watch every week. That last clip looked like
This freaking dog, I've seen this one before.
that last one looked like Kyle Larson last lap of the Roval. You're just bouncing it off cars and
Just
walls.
giving it.
Yeah.
I don't even want that dog looks like Max.
Yeah, I know. Candace wouldn't like this one. Oh,
I don't know.
dude.
That's like the world's luckiest dog. In the
Just
world.
clearly, he's like, you're fine. No big deal. Dude, he clears by a long shot, though. It didn't even touch his ears. He was fine.
Who let their dog out? Seriously.
I mean,
in the
that's
middle of a rally race.
It's in
Where
the
is
middle of a
that?
farm. Look how rural this place is. It's in the middle of
Did
nowhere.
you just say rural?
Rural.
Rural? Rural?
Yeah, that's when there's no one around.
Yeah, like Missouri,
Yeah.
where you're from. Man,
War shit.
I can't wait to see more of them. Good luck finding more and more of them every week. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, have you seen our drivers? There's plenty of clips you can watch. We're here with Ross Chastain, driver of the number 45. 11. No,
True North Chevy.
what is it?
True North.
No, you're
Paul.
you're driver of the number
Oh.
45, 10,
15.
15,
But you know what my Xfinity car numbers are?
4.
10-4.
Oh, that's good. I like that. That's
Uh-huh.
easy to remember.
That's a big 10-4.
Yeah, I like that. So how many races are you in the Xfinity car or in the 10?
3.
3. What race? What
Daytona and then Chicago and 2nd, Texas.
Oh, those are good tracks.
Mhm.
Not bad. How's that been? How'd that come about?
When's this gonna air?
Oh, we don't have to talk about it then.
Okay. Well, there's just some minor details that's going to come out next week, and it's pretty exciting stuff. So there was a guy that helped get me involved in this, and it's a driver. So he had a big part in bringing me into this program with Nutrient Ag Solutions. So that's the reason I'm in the 10 car is
Oh, perfect.
Nutrient Ag Solutions.
Oh yeah, that's fine. That's perfect, man.
Yeah.
That's a good,
so
good car.
so yeah, so you guys will have some stuff to talk about going into Vegas and after Vegas.
Oh, perfect. So what about my biggest thing is the 45 because we went to go watch this bike unveil by Paul Jr. And the first time I saw it on Twitter, I was like, holy crap, that's
Yeah.
American Shopper's legend.
I know, man. Like we grew up watching him.
Yeah, I know. So it was way cool to be able to talk to him and hang out and then see the new bike he built, which is, badass.
A dually.
Yeah. I've never seen a dually.
I've never seen a dual trike.
Yeah. So talk a little bit about that. Like, how'd that come about? How do you get Paul Jr. involved in a NASCAR truck race?
Yeah, so actually it all comes back to Nice Motorsports. And then last fall at Texas, I was running for Al in the 38 truck. And Reed Wilson was there in another truck with the Foresters. And Reed's first time at Texas, and he went out to qualify a single truck and just missed the line a little bit, got up out of the groove and wanted to, tagged the fence, and didn't make the race. They weren't locked in. So Karen Forrester and the Wilsons came down and asked if we would work with them with True North and get them some space on the truck because they had a bunch of people there and guests and executives and they wanted to be in the race.
Yeah, so they weren't in the race.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
And so Al's like, they did whatever they needed to do and got it on the truck. Fast forward, we built a relationship with them, with the Wilsons and with True North. And
do you print the decals there, or do you just find someone
they had extra,
like hand pinstripe it on, like we
No.
could do for you?
Yeah, no. They had extras. One time I actually pulled decals off of a race truck that didn't make the race and put them on another truck I was getting in because we got rained out.
NASCAR, man.
It's like a quarter panel decal. It was a big watermelon slice.
Oh,
it was not pretty.
As long as it worked.
That's
they
right.
got it on there. They were pumped about it.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
so that's how it all started. So that's how we met the Wilsons and True North, and then they had Paul Jr. already building a second bike for him. So the first one they'd already unveiled. They already had that one,
which is a sick bike too.
Yeah. Crazy. Got on airbags, I guess, air ride. But it sits down on the pins.
Yeah, some of those bikes you can tell they're like, this company is blue and white. Throw it on a chopper, and it's custom, whatever. But like these bikes are like
full on
cut.
Yeah.
Like they put some time and energy
and
figuring out what they could do to promote this business. So
right. Paul's talked about it, and there is more of a generic. There's all different price points for whatever companies want to do, and whether they're involved in the shows or not. And some are just kind of just quick builds, and some are like these with True North are full on. They don't get to see them though. True North never gets to see the bike until the unveil.
Really?
They kind of meet with Paul and his team, and they kind of get an idea for what their company's all about. And so he just unveiled one for the MLB for baseball, and it's.
Oh, I saw that one.
Yeah, the seat looks like a glove,
yeah.
like a catcher's mitt or what? Glove? I guess.
Whatever.
I'm not
it
athletic.
Catches the baseball in
Yes,
the hand.
yes. I want something that I cannot do, or can I throw a baseball? So.
Yeah,
To
I
be
wish
honest.
helmets were like that. That'd be nice. Everybody wants to see the helmet.
You wish you could throw them?
No. Oh yeah, I wish sometimes. Yeah. No, like to not see it until it's done. I feel like we're just.
You get nitpicked a lot.
They're nitpicked before they even get off the computer screen. I don't know. It's just not as fun. I'd
Yes.
rather hand you a helmet and you have no idea what it's gonna look like and you're pumped about it. But
Why don't you offer a program like that?
I should do that.
You should offer that as a.
Like $20 off if you'd let me not show you.
Yes. Because then I can get it done a lot quicker.
Yeah, exactly. There's whatever. Just send me colors and the right logo, and we'll be
Yeah.
fine. I feel like that would be fine. Anyway, you're the only driver I think to finish every lap of Daytona. Correct?
I wonder how many people have done that in the
Period.
past.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was incredible.
It can't be a lot because a lot of guys they don't run all three, and usually you're not in good enough equipment if you are running all three series to even run on lead laps.
Right.
So, dude, the killer.
Yes. It was. There were some discussions over the off season whether we should do it or not, but all 3 teams wanted me to be there, and I'm like, I got 3 different team owners wanting me to be in their race car. I'm doing it. And
Does that
so
get tiring running back and forth from every garage? Like
Daytona,
they're not close together.
they're not.
Especially the truck and cup garage. It is as far as you can possibly be
Yes.
from. They might as well be on the outside of the track.
Daytona's not terrible except for that part because we don't do much practice. It's pretty cool, and when you're practicing, it's only the Xfinity car that I practice in the draft. But I mean, you get to like Chicago and Texas, or like the racing in Iowa, and then flying all night to Pocono. Like that's when I
yeah.
get tired. Like
Yeah.
that's when I'm like getting in the cup car and like my back's already hurt. And last year when I was doing it, it's like once I get in the car, I'm like, no problems. When I get out and I'm like hobbling to the airplane, like
Yeah.
go to the chiropractor
Or if
Monday
it's like
morning.
120 degrees out and you just want to. Everyone else gets a break for 2 hours and you have to jump right back in another completely different handling vehicle.
Right. But I enjoy it, man. That's why I do it, is because I enjoy it. But it also is making me a better race car driver. So
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, you can watch film all you want, but like going out, executing practice, executing qualifying, and executing in the race, like and being able to balance 3 different race cars has streamlined my learning curve
Because you're just
exponentially.
adapting every time.
Yeah.
So
Just
what's harder, like going to like a 1.5 mile track and adapting to each, or like I'm sure
Yeah.
even Daytona has.
Yeah, the draft is a lot different in each one.
Yeah.
And then just trying to set up your strategies at Daytona. But yeah, like getting out of a truck at Texas where you're qualifying almost wide open, and then going to get in the cup car where like I was having to lift in the second dog leg, like in the quad oval, like lift and heavy brake, and where the truck I had just qualified almost wide open.
Yeah, that's got to
So
be way different.
that stuff is tough. Just not making mistakes, because you overdrive the cup car by 50 feet. One sense it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. I mean, it is and it isn't. It can be. It's a lot. It's a big mistake if I drive in 50 feet too deep.
Yeah.
So
Let's
you're
get-
usually not going to get that back.
What one more question. I'll let you go because I know you're busy schedule today, getting ready for the rain out at Atlanta. We're
I
about
know.
to watch. That truck race. I mean, what were your expectations going into that? And then towards the end, like you're lining up like row 2
Yeah,
and like nothing in your mirror. Like
I
did
know.
you how many wrecks did you dodge and like
all of them.
yeah.
Yeah, the
Obviously you dodged all of
right,
them.
yeah.
Like how
Yeah, the only damage we had was some debris from that first 2 or 3 laps. There was stuff out on the track, and everybody was cutting tires, hitting the wall, and something flew off and hit one of Tyler Young's trucks, bounced from the inside line over. I was right behind a truck, and I saw it coming, and I actually ducked, which I shouldn't have because it hit my headlight, put a big hole in it.
ducked in the car.
I ducked.
Like
Yeah,
you're
I
like-
could see it. I could see it flying, and I'm like, oh, geez, like.
Yeah.
People that aren't watching the video can't see that I'm closing my eyes and ducking my head, but yeah, and then I did spin out on one of the last crash. I think the last one down in turn 3. Got on the apron trying to avoid it, and then somebody was coming down, and I got scared, and I turned the wheel left and spun. Didn't hit anything though, so wish I could have restarted 4th, because I would have restarted. That's where I should have restarted, was behind Crafton, but
Yeah.
had to restart 6th. But there was only
Yeah, I was gonna
5
s-
of us left.
There's not much.
Timothy was out there, but he was towed in a mile. Like his front front tires were pointed at each other.
It was very weird watching that many trucks restart.
yes.
Like it's like 8 trucks just restarting, and you're like, that's.
Yeah.
It was not even a fourth of the field. It was
No.
crazy. It was
No.
just a survival. And then the next night, it was like everyone was still left because there was.
Nobody raced.
Yeah. It was just,
Chase kept pulling out and trying to make stuff happen. A couple guys, and then I tried to do it with a couple laps ago, and no one went with me.
yeah. It's just crap.
But it was like I was either going to finish 5th or 6th, somewhere in there, or go for the win and maybe finish 15th. And I'll take that bet every time.
Yeah. Go for
In
it.
that situation, like the car I had, the 10 car was fast enough to win, and I can't believe people didn't
I couldn't either.
try.
Especially on like I was like at least on the last lap there's gonna be somebody that tries, and there was just an ARCA race, just
Yeah, singled out.
everybody lined up.
Yeah.
And then the Cup race was actually pretty decent.
I think that was a good mix, right? You had
Yeah.
a lot of good green flag racing, double file, some 3 wide I saw, and man, at the end they tore them up too, though.
Oh
so
yeah.
we didn't race anybody in the Cup race until the end, and that didn't even work out how we thought. So that was, but man, 10th place in my first Daytona 500 is something I may never do again. Like
That's pretty cool.
people go their whole careers and never do that. So that's something that I don't take for granted. That's really cool.
Hell yeah. What about this new rules package? You pretty pumped for a team like what you guys have?
I don't know. There's some things that we're already, feel like we have one hand tied behind our back just for premium. Some of the stuff you need to do with the aero pans underneath, you need to change some of your chassis work and the way some bars run, and we're just not in a position to cut up perfectly good race
You
cars
can't start cutting on cars yet.
to make our pan angles maxed out where we know other guys are getting them. So that's fine. We're gonna do our deal. I mean, it's crazy. But we're so far behind on our sponsorship searches and our budgets. I mean, we're just so far behind where we want to be, but that's just a bar we set, and we're below that. But we're below where we need to be, like just to operate. So Jay kept me in for the 500. I know he turned down a lot of stuff, and that's that he's the business guy, Jay Robinson, and he decides, he runs the team, and decided to keep me in. So we obviously had a good finish, but that put us even with the good finish, I think we're probably still behind. So just got to kind of plug away and we run off the purse. There's small sponsors on the cars here and there. Got Garrett Smithley as a teammate this weekend, so that'll be his first time at Atlanta in a cup car.
He's a good kid. He's an off-axis driver, so
he is
not bad. At least you won't be peeling the decals off another car and putting them on yours. So
hopefully not. We won't do much practice, even if it doesn't rain it all out. Friday. So
I'm gonna watch from home, so I'm not gonna be there. So
wow.
I'll
slacker.
Yeah, I'll give you an off-axis umbrella if you want to hold it up, I guess. So.
Really? You don't want to come hold it for me?
I do not want to be what do they call it? Like grid girls or whatever for the moto guys. You ever see those girls just walking around? I guess you get Monster Energy girls now. They're kind of the same.
They don't
hold umbrellas.
I don't think any of them like I've tried to say, hey, like just walking by, it'd be nice, like wave to them. Nothing.
Robots.
Nothing back.
Monster Energy robots.
Yeah. I'm sure they're nice. They just never say hi to me.
They don't talk to me either, so don't feel bad.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right. Well, I'll let you go.
Cool.
We'll talk to Paul Jr. next. I guess we'll listen to his pre-race. He was pretty pumped up about this race. So,
yeah, he was excited after the race. Came and gave me a big hug, and he's been to NASCAR tracks before, but never like invested like he is with this deal. So True North and him are tied in pretty deep, and with the racing program, with the Wilsons, with Barry and Reed. And that's another thing. So Reed will be driving the truck some this year. So that's
what he said.
That'd be good to get him going.
I told Paul Jr. I want him off the pit box too. I didn't want him just to be a race fan up there. I want him to like hold the sign or catch
tires.
Yeah, something
like,
cool.
Make him catch tires at Bristol with no gloves.
Yeah,
just melting.
So he gets the full experience.
Yes, like grab the tire and it just like melts to your hand.
I'm sure he's had some welding burns. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thanks for stopping in.
Thank you.
Good luck as you go.
Thanks, man.
Later.